Hey, this is part 2 of our 3-part series where we are working with the little wood blocks or cubes from the Dollar Tree. And this DIY is going to have you running out to purchase all the little wood blocks you can get your hands on. So let's go ahead and get started with the project. For this DIY, we start by painting 3 of the wood blocks white. I'm going to be using this matte paint by Apple Barrel. It's an acrylic paint and the color is Snow White. Once we have our blocks painted white, we're now going to print out some of our favorite photographs, just making sure that the photos are the same size as our block that we are using. You'll also need some scrapbook paper in your favorite pattern. And for this step, we're going to attach the photos to 3 sides of our wooden cubes. And I found the best way to do this is to use the Elmer's purple glue stick, apply it to the side of the block, and then attach that to the back side of the photograph, as I'm showing you here. And once you have your block attached to the back side of your photograph, you'll flip it over and press the photo into the glue. And once the glue's dried, you'll trim the excess paper and then sand it with some sandpaper just to clean up the edges. Then you're left with this perfectly trimmed photograph. Now we're going to continue on with 2 more sides of this block and then do the other 2 blocks. Now that we're finished, you'll see that there's 3 photos and then a blank side. You'll also leave the top and bottom blank as well. Now for the blank side, we're going to be attaching some of this beautiful scrapbook paper. And to do this, I found it easiest to apply the glue to the side of the block. And make sure you get the right side because I almost glued mine to the top. You need the side that's in between the other photos. You'll start by putting the glue on the block. Then you'll put some glue onto the back side of the scrapbook paper. And then you'll continue on for each block. Once I had all 3 stuck down, I then flipped it over and rubbed the scrapbook paper into the wood block. I then trimmed up the excess paper and did the sanding technique for this as well. Then you're left with these gorgeous little blocks. You'll have 3 photos on 3 of the sides, and then you'll have the scrapbook paper on 1 of the sides. Now the top and the bottom are still just blank white. And I wanted to age mine a little bit, so I brought in some of this gel stain by Americana in the oak color, and I'm just going to apply a little bit all around my block and my photos with a paper towel. Now that we have our photo cubes aged, we're going to set them aside so they can dry. And then we're going to come in with 3 pieces of wood. It's going to consist of this wood round. I purchased this from the Dollar Tree. Now it comes without a hole, but I drilled a hole for another project that didn't work out so good, so I'm going to recycle it here. You also need one of these wooden napkin rings from Hobby Lobby. I purchased this in their wood shop area or their wood pile area. And you'll also need a wooden finial or knob of some sort. And I purchased these from Walmart. I then stained all 3 pieces with the Americana gel stain in the color oak to match my aging of my 3 photo blocks. Now that our 3 pieces have dried, we're going to attach our napkin ring to the top side of our wood round. And for this, I'm just going to be using some hot glue. Now that we have that glued on, we'll set it aside to dry, let it harden up, and we're going to bring back in our 3 wooden cubes. And for this, we're just going to arrange them how we would like them, and we're going to glue them together in a stack. And I wanted mine to kind of go in a spiral, so as you see, I'm arranging them so the map or the scrapbook paper side kind of swirls around to the back side. It starts from the side and then swirls around up instead of all of them being the scrapbook paper on one side, if that makes sense. And then we'll just glue them together with some hot glue. And as you glue them together, just make sure that they are lined up top and bottom. Then you're left with this little stack of glued together cubes. Now we're going to attach our little finial knob to the top. And once we have that done, we're going to attach our stacked cubes to the top side of our wood base. And then you have this beautiful piece of nostalgia. I just love looking at all the photographs, but we're not done yet. I wanted to add a little more love to my project, and I had these 3 wooden hearts on hand. So I stained them with my Americana gel stain and attached them with some hot glue over the map side of my wood blocks. And once I got them attached, I fell in love with this piece. It is so adorable, and I hope it inspires you to make something like this of your own for someone you love. Well, I am so glad you joined me for part 2 of the woodblock series, and I can't wait to see you for part 3. And if you missed part 1, I'll have that linked in the description box below. Well, until next time, make sure and keep it crafty.